Hello. Sorry about the slicked hair. I'm just coming out the swimming pool. Yeah, it's getting really warm here now. A bit sticky and what's the word? Starts with H. I think it starts with H. I don't know. Humid. That's it. Humid. So, anyway, you know, I sometimes idly go through my archives on my laptop, and I was doing that the other day and when I came across a post that was about gender and change management. I read it and I thought, hey, this could do with updating and airing again because I'm sure there is interest in the subject. As a consequence, I decided, as I did the last time, obviously, to do some digging into the numbers. And I did a rough and ready analysis of 100 of my first LinkedIn connections with the title of Change Manager, would you believe? As well as, on top of, or whatever, additionally, a count of those people who I have trained as well. The results, the last time I did it was I had male at 33.5% and female at 66.5%. So what did I have this time? Slightly different. My male connections have gone down to 27.5%. Yet my female connections and trainees have gone up to 73.5%. So, fair bit of a shift, really, by the looks of it. So, it got me wondering, what is the reason for the fairer sexes predominance in the field of change management? Now, listen, before you start sharpening the knives, this is not scientific research. It's simply an observation based on my own network and experiences, okay? That's all it is. Simple, right? But it does raise an interesting question. Why does change management appear to attract significantly more females than males? Thinks about it. I suppose one possible explanation is that many of the skills associated with successful change management align very closely with qualities that the female sex are often encouraged to develop from an early age. Things like communication, like empathy, like listening, collaboration, emotional awareness, and relationship building. But, something, effective change management is rarely about process charts and governance packs alone. It's about understanding people, reading the room, building trust, handling resistance, influencing without authority, navigating politics, helping anxious employees through uncertainty. Those are highly human skills. Traditionally, many male-dominated business functions have rewarded things like decisiveness, control, hierarchy, and technical expertise. Change management, on the other hand, often succeeds through softer influence rather than positional power. That may naturally appeal to people who are comfortable operating in emotionally intelligent environments. Clearly. Another factor, thinking about it, may be career pathways. A large number of change managers historically come from places like HR, communication, learning and development, and organizational roles, which are all areas that have traditionally had higher female representation. Now, if that becomes the talent pipeline into change management, then perhaps the gender imbalance is not entirely surprising. Okay, of course, there's always an of course, or there's always a but. There are many outstanding male change managers too. I've worked with plenty, but I do sometimes wonder whether some men entering the profession struggle with the ambiguity of the role, because change management, obviously can be messy, outcomes are difficult to measure, authority is often indirect, and success frequently depends on influence rather than control. For some personalities, particularly those coming from command and control type environments, that can feel very, very uncomfortable. There may also be another factor. In many organizations, change management still lacks the status afforded to more hard-edged disciplines like project management, like finance, like operations, or technology. So has the profession been subconsciously categorized as a people support function rather than a business critical discipline? And if it has that unintentionally influenced who enters the field of change management? Well, it's not a criticism of women, far from it. In fact, one could argue the opposite. Perhaps women identified the importance of people-centric transformation way before many organizations did. Maybe. That might be the real point, to be honest. And organizations as organizations increasingly recognize that failed change is usually about people rather than technology, perhaps the skills traditionally associated with successful change managers are finally being valued properly. So, is the predominance of women in change management down to emotional intelligence, career pathways, leadership style, organizational stereotypes, or very simply because women are often better equipped for the realities of human-centered change? I genuinely don't know the definitive answer, but I do think it's an interesting debate to have. And I would be fascinated to hear what others think, particularly whether your own experiences reflect similar patterns or something completely different. Hit me up. Let me know. Interesting subjects. Okay, thanks again.